How's it going, guys? It's Doc. The next 48 hours are going to be huge for Bitcoin and crypto. We're going to talk about it in this video. But before we get started, welcome back to the channel. My name's Doc. Throughout the day, I'm a resident physician. And at night and in between patients, I take you guys on my crypto and investing journey. Guys, as you're coming in, consider hitting the like button, subscribing if you want to see more videos like this. In 48 hours, Bitcoin is gonna be put on a roller coaster, and here's why. So this morning we got retail sales data to come out. We're gonna talk about that in just a sec. And then obviously we have this mounting conflict in the Middle East between Iran and Israel. We're also gonna talk about that. And then tomorrow, the big FOMC meeting and the post-game presser by Fed Chair Powell. We're going to break all these things down. So this morning, the retail sales data, it was a big miss, and a big miss in kind of a big way. Here's why. So retail data for the month of July was expected to fall 0.6%. And the reason that it was expected to fall, because a lot of these tariffs are put in place. There's this concern, who is going to eat this one-time tax? Is it going to be businesses? Is it going to be retailers? Is it going to be the end consumer? So that's why the thought process was there was an expectation that there would be a negative 0.6% decline in retail sales. Well, it came back bigger, right? The decline in retail sales was actually 0.9. And here's what that means in layman's terms, in plain English. What that means is the end consumer is starting to feel a little bit hurt, or rather they're feeling the pressure of all of this uncertainty. And you might be thinking, hey Doc, that's only a 0.3 difference from expectations and what the number came back, but it's so much more than that. It's actually 50% worse than what the expectation was. And the Fed, you would think that they use this data, or rather, I'm being facetious, they do use this data, but they use this data to get a pulse on the market. They use this data to get a pulse on the end consumer and how hot or cold the overall economy is. So this data is actually really, really important. It gives us a snapshot of how the average everyday American consumer is doing. And the data says that we are being more tight with our money. Things that we used to go spend money on, whether it was, new clothes, new apparel, restaurants, just average everyday things that folks spend money on, they're being more tight with their money. And we like to call this, in some ways, it is hard data, but in some ways it could be interpreted as soft data, is if there is a recession looming. Now, the good thing is, speaking of recession, is that the probability of a recession in 2025 was at 53%, and now it's fallen down to 38%, and I suspect that number should keep coming down. There's a lot of factors that are going to be put in place, though. So the American consumer, as per the retail data that came in this morning, was worse than expected. So not great. The next big thing is the conflict in the Middle East, right? And I really am just commenting on this specifically. I'm trying to stay as objective as possible. I'm just talking about it from an investment standpoint, your bags, my bags, all of our bags from an investment standpoint. So right now there's thoughts that a last-ditch effort for a peace treaty is being put in place, right? President Trump, he left the summit early with thoughts to get this peace treaty. And you'll see conflicting things on Twitter and online. Did he leave early to do a peace treaty? Did he use it to potentially gear up for an attack? Nobody really knows. A lot of this is just speculation. But nonetheless, we all hope that a peace treaty gets put in place, right? And obviously with the peace treaty, that comes with certainty. Markets like certainty. So that could be good for markets. And just from a humanistic standpoint, we don't want any lives lost. The big one, number 3, the FOMC meeting tomorrow. I consume way too much financial news, both the traditional market and the crypto market. And it's going to be interesting to see the tone of Fed Chair Powell on his post-game presser, right? So the FOMC meeting is going to come out. I think it's like a 98% chance. We're not getting a rate cut in June. It's just not happening. It will be interesting to see if QT ends in June. I'm starting to lean that it will not end in June. Maybe that's a July or September type of thing. But more importantly than if QT ends, because it's already been severely lowered, the rate at which the government is selling its treasury bonds and mortgage-backed securities has dropped significantly. But more importantly, in my opinion, is the tone of Powell. Does he come off with a dovish tone, and he seems to be signaling that rate cuts are coming, the economy's doing well, inflation's coming? Or does he have more of a hawkish tone where he really harps on, hey, we're yet to feel the consequences of these tariffs, and we project that inflation is going to rise? So that's something that we kind of need to make sure we're listening for in the background. The other thing is, hopefully we can get kind of a peek behind the door of what they're thinking as far as how many rate cuts we're going to get in 2025. The last I checked, the base case is still 2 rate cuts projected for 2025. A lot of folks are saying, hey, don't be surprised if we only get 1 rate cut in 2025, and it may come later in the year. So a lot of folks, the consensus is we get 2 rate cuts, with the first one in September. But there's a lot of folks saying on Twitter, in the traditional news media, that we may get only 1 cut this year, and it may come in October, with then us following up in 2026 to have 3 rate cuts. I actually just did a live stream with Kate O'Neill. If you don't know him, check him out. He's a great YouTube channel. We did a live stream a couple days ago, and we kind of were asking each other, like, hey, how many rate cuts do you think we get in 2025? My thought process was I leaned towards 2. His was he leaned towards 1. Cade's a wealth of information, right? I know he's, in the, he kind of keeps his nose to the ground. He's in his ear out. He's always trying to learn as much as possible. So, like, is it going to be 1? Is it going to be 2? Well, nobody really knows, right? None of this is financial advice. I don't have a crystal ball, but it will be interesting to see his tone for tomorrow. So that's why I'm saying you have 48 hours, because that comes out tomorrow, and obviously the market will be volatile after that as well. We also get some other economic data tomorrow. We get the permits for new housing, so that'll give us a pulse of the housing market. I can tell you right now, I'm here in Texas. Houses are sitting on the market way longer than they normally do, and that's just a drag on the housing market, and that makes sense because interest rates are stupid high right now. So prepare over the next couple days. If we get a dip, if you made it this far, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. Also, if you're getting value of this, hit the like button, subscribe, comment down below, where do you think Bitcoin's going? If you made it this far in the video, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. I still have some cash on the sidelines, and I am buying dips in strong alts that I really, really believe in. So I'm buying the dip on Caspa. I'm buying the dip on ICP. I'm buying the dip on SEI. I'm buying the dip on AVAX and AVAX projects. And I just bought a new position. It's actually my most recent video, so check that out if you haven't. I'm buying more ZBEC, right? So I think that's a really, really interesting project. It's starting to catch some news. And little let you peek behind the curtain, I'm buying a new project tonight, right? I'm going to start a position in a new project tonight. If you want to know what that is, there's a link down below in my Discord. It's completely free. We have nothing to sell you. Check it out. Again, if you got any value of this, hit the like button. Consider subscribing. Also, if you're a leverage trader, my link to BTCC is going to be down below. It's an awesome platform. No KYC, no VPN. The fees are way lower if you use that link below. They are a partner of the channel, so it helps me out if you use it. Anyways, I will see you guys on my next video.